was A comma B, right? We have changed the notation of the points, but let's walk through it. So if they are collinear, then AB is equals to, if they are collinear, AB is equals to, what was the condition again, Umer? AB is equals to AB plus AC plus BC, right? This is what the condition
Yeah.
was. Okay. So
No,
if that's
AC is equal to AB plus BC. BC.
okay, the whole length is equals to AB plus BC. Okay. So AB would be, these are the points, right? No mistaken points, right? So AB would
It's,
be
it's not it's not B, it's O.
which one? This one. Oh, okay, okay. That's it, right? Okay. So AC would be A minus 1 whole square plus B minus 2 whole square. So when we are writing this, let us take the squares of the sides pehle hi, okay? So I am
The whole root.
whole root. Instead, I would take squaring on both sides, so that would remove the square. So AC would become A square minus 2A plus 1 plus B square minus 2B plus 4. So this would become A square plus B square. Let us see where we end up with that. Minus 2A minus 2B plus 5. Okay, this is where we are AC. And then AB would be similarly AB, AB in the sense this is O, this is OC. AO would be 1 plus 4. This would be 5, right? Root 5. OC would be OC would be A square plus B square, right? This is what it would be. Okay, so if we
Yeah.
have, yeah, right. OC would be this. OC would be A square plus B square. Okay, so
Suppose we'll get the whole root.
whole root. So we are taking individually squares for this also, AC also. Individually, we are taking squaring on both sides here also. And this is AO, right? Over here. So we'll get 5 here. This would be A square plus B square. So AC is A square minus 2A plus AC. This is C. So AC's value would be this. Okay. AO's value would be 5. OC's value would be A square plus B square. Okay. So when we substitute these values here, that would be A square plus B square minus 2A minus 2B plus 5 is equals to 5 plus A square plus B square, right? This is what will be the condition when they are collinear, right? So A square and A square will get cancelled, B square will also get cancelled, 5 will also get cancelled, minus 2AB is equals to plus 2AB. This would be, and A is equals to minus B would be the answer. Okay. A is equals to minus B or B is equals to minus A. The option has A is equals to minus B, right?
Sir, but this is not the answer.
You have the answer, right? The,
Is this the answer?
yeah, there is a option, right? Question number option D is A is equals to minus B. You have an option, right?
But
Even in the,
the answer is A is equal to 2B.
A is equals to 2B.
Sir,
Mm,
and when we square on both sides, we have to square only when it's in an equation, right?
see, when you are finding, when you are writing this, AC is equals to root over A minus 1 whole square plus B minus 2 whole square, right? So when you are writing this, at the end, you are going to get a value, right? Scalar value or a number, right?
But
Mm.
when we are squaring, we have to equate AC square as AO plus OC the whole square, right? So it will be A square
Mm-hmm.
plus 2AB plus B square. So the equation
See,
is different.
if we look at it that way, then see, I think we can do it over here also from here individually. AC, we can do this. That is what I'm thinking. We can do that. If we
But
go,
AC AC
mm-hmm,
square won't be equal to AO square plus OC square, right? AC square will be equal to AO plus
mm-hmm.
OC the whole square.
Yeah, that is also there. This is not. right angle triangle for this to work. Yeah, that is also a valid point. So if we do that, then we will be, let's see, this would be a square plus b square plus into root 5. This is what we will have. And if we square on both sides now, mm, okay, we are stuck here. Even I do not have any ideas right now. Mm,
When we find the slope way, it's showing only 3 steps, but I don't understand that.
um, Slope is basically you would use this point and then this point slope. They will all be equal. So that is how you will find a relationship easily also. That is another way. But in terms of this, 3 points are collinear. Okay, let's once look at it on a coordinate axis. This is our origin, 0, comma 0, 1, comma 2. This is 1. So the point would be here, a1, comma 2. So if it's collinear, it should be like this. Hmm. Okay, let's look at it at the end of the class, or we will have to look at the solution online some place. Then we will figure out a collinear, then is equals to 2b. Another way to solve this is by going via option verification. Also, we can substitute the options and see which one will work, which one will give this particular, which if a is equals to 2b is the answer, then that should work here. That should give that should equate this whole equation. If we do that, let us see what will happen there. Uh, if a is equals to 2b, then 2b minus 1 whole square plus b minus 2 whole square. This would become 4b square minus 8b plus 1 plus b square minus 4b plus 4. This would be 5b square minus 12b plus 5 whole root is equals to 2b whole square plus b square plus root 5. 4b 5b square plus root 5. Mm,
B square plus 25.
b plus 1 root 5 to b plus 1. What about this? 25. Hmm. Let us look at it in the next class or at the end of the class. Let's move to this thing. Okay, that I will get back to this. Even I am scratching my head at this point. Let me see. It should be simple, like method of collinearity also. Let's work on this question from trigonometry. Did you guys come across this question? Alright, is this visible, everyone?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you guys come across this question until now? Anyone? Take a read and let me know. No one? All right. Uh, All right. No, so Zaib and Saad, you didn't ever see this question until now? No. Okay. This is from an example. What about you, Saad?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Umair is gone. Let's start. I hope he joins us back. Okay, so one thing about this chapter is that if you cannot do some questions, do not blame yourself that you do not understand the chapter enough or do not really know what is happening. If you read this question, you would understand the language is itself very confusing, and there are many questions that are very confusing in the language, which doesn't make any sense, which don't make any sense until you get used to the language of NCRT, and it's hard to. So let us read it and try to decipher whatever is happening here. Okay. From a point on a bridge across a river, the angles of depression of the banks on opposite side of a river are 30 degrees and 45 degrees respectively. So we are talking about angle of depression here. That's sure. Angle of depression. Okay. And then we are talking about the fact that, okay, over here in this question AOC, we could even go like AO, and we are not sure how we should go about it. We can try another way also. And yes, angle of depression here. If the bridge is at a height of 3 meters from the banks, find the width of the river. Okay, so angle of depression something something 35, 45, 30 degrees and 45 degrees, and bridge height is at 3 meters. Okay, all right, Omer, quickly tell me, have you come across this question up until now? Take a quick read and let me know. And so we are basically given angle of depressions, given 30 degrees and 45. Height of the bridge is given. Angle of depression from bridge. Height of bridge 3 meters from banks. Find width of river. All right. Okay. Umer, did you come across this question up until now, or this is the first time you're seeing this?
First time, sir.
First time, okay. So one thing about this chapter that I was telling Zaib and Saad was that the questions are confusing. The NCRT language assumes that we are all native speakers and we can understand what the hell is being talked about or spoken about in the question. So do not blame yourself if you cannot decipher or understand what is being asked and how to solve it or how to make a diagram, because a lot of questions are confusing in the language and you cannot do anything about that except, reading a lot from NCRT. So we are talking about angle of depression here, which is from the bridge, and height of the bridge is given, width of the river is given. So let us imagine the scenario and make a diagram here. Let's go step by step. So we have a bridge here somewhere. Okay. And from that bridge, we are uh, looking at angle of depression as 30 degrees and 45 degrees, opposite sides. These two angles are on opposite sides of the bank. Okay. So there is a river that is flowing. Okay. And there is this bridge. Okay. So the angle of depression on one side is 30 degrees. This is 30 degrees. And over other side, it is 45 degrees. Okay. And we are being told the height of this bridge from the river is 3 meters. Okay. And we are being told to find this whole width of the river. Okay. So this is what we are being asked. Okay. So it is not very evident from the question that is being asked, but this is what you are being asked, width of the river. Okay. So if this is 30 degrees, then angle of depression, this angle would be 30 degrees, right? And if this is 45 degrees, then this will be 45 degrees also. Is that making sense, everyone? How we got to this particular point? Come on, give me a yes and we can move on to the next step.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Saad, is it making sense?
Hmm.
Yeah. Zeb, what about you? Did you understand how we went from these three lines to this diagram? Yeah. Okay. So we
Sir,
have,
see, the
Mhm.
bridge length is equal to the river width, right?
No, it's not like that. The width of the river is going to be dynamic. It's going to change. But we are only given the height of the bridge is constant from the river. Okay, the width of the river is not given to us. We need to find that. We are given the angles that are there. On one side, the angle of depression from the bridge is 30 degrees, and from the other side, it is 45 degrees to the banks. This particular point here, that angle of depression of the banks on opposite sides of the river are. Okay, from a point on the bridge. This is that particular point. Point A is this a point, and from this point, angles of depression of the banks on opposite side. Okay, one side is 35, other side is 45 degrees. Okay, when you're standing over here on point A and you're looking from this particular point, on one side the angle of depression to this side of the bank, okay, it is 30, and the other side it's 45. So that is given to us, and the bridge height is at height is of 3 meters from the banks. Okay, find the width of the river. All right. So this is what is given to us, and we need to find this whole length BD. Okay. If the bridge is at a height of 3 meters from the banks. Okay. If okay, if that is the case, then this would become 3, but that wouldn't be height. Then that would, just a second. If mm, this is the problem. This is the problem. Anyways, we will consider this 3 meters, okay, this height as 3 meters. All right, so we have triangle ABC and triangle ABD, okay, and BD is width is equals to BC plus CD, okay. So in triangle ABC, tan 30, we will use tan 30. Tan 30 is equals to uh, AC upon BC, right? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3, right? 1 by root 3. AC is 3 meters by BC. So BC will be 3 root 3. And in this triangle, tan 45 is equals to AC upon BCD. Okay. So this would be 1 and this would be AC upon. So CD would be 3. Okay. So BD will be equal to BC plus CD, and BC is 3 root 3 and CD is 3. This would be 3 into root 3 plus 1. Okay. All right. So this is going to be the width of the river. We were not given root 3's value to find the answer here. So we will leave it at this particular thing. Okay. Any doubts in this?
Yes. No, sir.
No? Okay. Let us take another word problem from the
So
exercise.
even if we take the bridge width is equal to the reverse width, the answer is the same.
Width, bridge width. Bridge width, but how will you take bridge width here? If this whole value has 3 meters,
Yeah.
but how would that translate to the triangle? Like which part of the triangle would we take as 3 meters? That is confusing to me.
The height.
Height is 3 meters. We took height as 3 meters. That is why AC is 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's proceed. Let's think about these questions. We have more time. All right. Okay. Just a second. Let me copy this. All right. Is this visible? Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. So as observed from a top, from the top of a 75-meter high lighthouse. Okay, so first of all, lighthouse, 75 meters. Let us name it AB. Okay. 75 meters from the sea level. Okay, so it is 75 meters from the sea level. The angle of depression of two ships are 30 degrees and 45 degrees. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. Okay, so one angle is 30 degrees. So this is 30, right? And then another angle is 45. So this is 45. All right, so two ships, angles of depression of two ships. This is ship 1, S1, and this is S2. Okay. And if one ship is exactly behind the other ship on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. So meaning the observer which is who is standing at point A uh, at the lighthouse is looking at the boat, looking at both the ships from the same side of the lighthouse. Okay, from the same direction. So from this point of observation, both the ships are at point S1 and S2. So we need to find this distance S1, S2. Okay, is that clear? Is that understandable? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Is it making sense? Let's see if we can do it. If we arrive at the answer. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. Okay, the distance between the two ships. All right, let's see. We have triangle ABS1 and triangle ABS2. Okay, so in ABS1, uh, over here, tan 30 would be 75 by BS1, right? And over here, tan 45 would be 75 by S2, BS2, right? And S1, S2 is the sum of, is not the sum of BS1, BS2 minus BS1, right? This is what S1, S2 is the sum, S1, S2 is. Is this fine? Right? Okay. So let's see, BS1 from here would be 75 root 3, right? And BS2 will be 75, right? Is that making sense? All right. So S1, S2 would be 75 minus 75 root 3. Okay. That would get us a negative answer. Is there any mistake here that we did? BS2, tan 45. 30 degree. But did we 30 degrees? If 30 degrees is here, it would
No, so
be
the answer is 75 1 minus root 3.
no. I mean 75 1 minus root 3. This would give us a negative answer. That is the problem, no? This would give a negative answer because uh, root 3's value is 1.73, so on. So this would result in a negative value. Over here, when we made the angle 30 degree and 45 degrees, okay, see the mistake that we did here is that we took the angles wrong, angles of depression. The nearer, see over here, the angle is 30 degrees and over here it is 90 degrees, meaning the closer you are to the angle, the bigger the angle is, right? The closer you are to the base, the bigger the angle would be. So this should be 45 and this should be 30. And angles of depression also similarly, because that is the only way this would make sense. Because if is that making sense to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Saad and Zeb? Yeah. That is a basic thing that we need to understand in angles of depression that even I forgot today. That the nearer the angle, the smaller the angle, the farther away from the base it would be. Okay. So this would be 45 and this would be 30. Okay. So on ground, when you translate it to ground, what you should make sure of is that the bigger angle should always be nearer to the base. Okay, so the ship making, we are here given that are 30 degrees and 45 degrees. Is one ship is exactly behind the other. We are not specified. No one is specifying here that the ship with 30 degrees is first or 45 degrees is first, right? That is up to us to decipher and to write it properly that 45 degrees would be first and 30 degrees would be second. Okay. If we do not do that, then we will end up with this absurd answer where the distance between the two ships would be negative, which is not possible. Okay. So now this would make sense. Okay. So in triangle ABS1, now tan 45 would be A, this would be AB by what is BS1, right? And this would be tan 30 is equals to AB by BS2. Okay. This is BS1 is equals to 75. Okay. Okay. And this would be 1 by root 3. So that would mean, okay, my pen, something is up with my pen. Okay. BS2 is equals to tan, not tan, 75 root 3. Okay. So S1, S2 would be 75 root 3 minus 1. Okay. This would be the distance. Any doubts in this? Angle of depression, always remember,
No, sir.
nearer the angle, smaller the angle, farther away, bigger the angle, nearer to it. Okay. Because, okay, let's see one other question where NCRT has a diagram for a similar question that you can notice here. But in this, the diagram is, in this, the tower is moving, so we can't make it. Let us see. Let us make a diagram for this. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Don't let these sessions and classes, just be a idle class where you're not noting down anything or, really assuring yourself that, okay, something is done today. One thing is off the plate and I can move on to some other question now or to some other topic on your own time, in your own time. Okay. Time will fly away and you would be in January in no time and February will start with your exams and you will, be in a lot of trouble if you do not pay attention in these few months, in the last 2, 3 months. Okay. So let's take this. A tall girl, 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon moving with the wind in a horizontal line at a speed of at a height of 88.2 meters from the ground. The angle of elevation of the balloon from the eyes of the girl at any instant is 60 degrees. After some time, the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degrees. Find the distance. Now, this is the opposite of that question where we have angle of elevation. Find the distance traveled by the balloon during the festival, during the interval. Oh my God. Sorry about my fumbles, guys. I am a bit tired today. Okay, so we have a girl of height 1.2 meters. We can ignore the height there and we can just take the uh, angle of elevation here. So we have a balloon at point 1. Let's say when the balloon is here, the height was 88.2 meters, right? The height won't change here, but the girl looking at this balloon from here, okay, the angle is 60 degrees. At any instant is 60 degrees, first of all. And when the balloon moves from point P1 to balloon at point P2, okay? When the balloon moves here, the angle of depression, angle of elevation, now the angle of elevation becomes 30 degrees. Even here you can see this, like these are two triangles now. Over here, over in triangle B, P1 and P2. And this is A. Okay, notice this in triangle APB. Okay, let's change P. Okay. Okay, at C1. In triangle C1, you can see that the AC is at small distance. So the angle is 60 degrees, right here. And then in triangles AC2, A, B, C2, the angle is 30 degrees because it is farther away from the 90-degree angle. You notice this thing that we just noticed in the other example also, right? Over here, the angle 30 degrees was farther away from 90 degrees. That is why in triangle AB2, ABS2, it was 30 degrees, and in ABS1, it is 45 degrees. Similarly, here in ABC1, 60 degrees because it is nearer to the angle, and farther away in ABC2, that is why 30 degrees. Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense? Okay, so in
sure.
ABC1, so now we need to find C1, C2. This is the distance, like in the time when the angle of elevation changed. Is this thing clear that we need to find C1, C2, right? So C1, C2 would be AC2 minus AC1. This is what the distance is we are going to find. So in ABC2, let us see ABC2 triangle. Saad and Zeb, I hope you guys are following, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So in ABC1, the tan 60, right? Tan 60 is equals to BC1 by AC1, and tan 30 is equals to AC2 uh, BC2. BC2 by AC2. All right. So tan 60 is root 3 and BC1 was 88.2. That is not going to change. AC1 and tan 30 is 1 by root 3 is equals to BC2 is again 88.2 and AC2. Okay. So AC1 is equals to 88.2 root 3 and AC2 is equals to 88.2 into root 3. Okay. So C1, C2 is equals to AC2 88.2 88.2 into root 3 minus AC1 is 88.2 by root 3. Okay, let us make the denominators same. 88.2 root 3 would be this 88.2 by root 3. Okay, so we would take out 88.2 by root 3 into 3 minus 1, that would become 2, C1, C2. So the answer would be uh, 176.2, 176.4 by root 3. Okay. Does it make sense? Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this small observation that we made here in this question needs to be remembered very well. Okay. Angle of elevation is higher when it is when the distance between the bases small and vice versa. Okay. When you learn something like this, you do tend to remember it well. Okay. Let's take another question. We have some more time. Okay. Let us see. Question number. All right. Let's take this. All right. From the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation to the top of a cable tower is 60 degrees, and the angle of depression of its foot is 45 degrees. Determine the height of the tower. So someone is standing on a 7-meter high building. From this building, this person is observing a cable tower. Okay. Uh, the angle of elevation is 60 degrees to the top of a cable tower. Top of a cable tower, and the angle of depression of its foot is 45. Determine the height of the tower. Okay. So we have some tower with height. Height is unknown here. But from this particular height, we know that the angle of elevation is 60 degrees and the angle of depression is this angle is 45 degrees, meaning this angle would be 45. Now we need to find the height. I hope we are drawing the diagram right, or we are imagining it correctly. We are describing it right. Okay. Let us see if this is the case, then we would have one triangle. Uh, all right. Is this diagram making sense? We need to find the height of the tower. We know that this is 7 meters. Let us try to simplify it. Okay, from here, angle of depression is 45, meaning if you go this way, this is 45 degrees. And from here, the angle of elevation is 60 degrees, meaning this. So if we find this particular height here, we can add it to the tower's height, and we can add it to the building height and find the height of the tower, right? That is at least what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that, because let's see. If we have tan 45 degrees here, we would have the you know, base of the building. Let us see how far it is since 45 degrees. Tan 45, 7 meters by BC. A. This BC would be 7 meters. Okay, so the building is 7 meters away. All right, so this is 7. Then tan 60 is equals to, height is unknown in this, DC by
And 60 is root 3.
root 3. Yes, root 3. So that implies BC is equals to, let's see how and where we end up, DC. Okay, so we won't use, will we use? Okay, we will use the, yeah, root 3. Root 3 is equals to, we need to find DC into BC is equals to DC. 7 root 3 is equals to DC. Okay. Check for the answer once. Is the answer this? This is question number 12 from NCRT. Question number 12 from NCRT. Is the answer 7 into root 3? If not, then we will have to.
So I'm getting 7 root 3, 7 3 root 3 plus 1.
7 root 3 plus 1. What is the
Yeah,
answer in the NCRT? Once look at that. Okay, so we will add the. Okay, we will add. We will add the building's tower's height is going to be DC plus AB, right?
yeah,
So that would mean DC is 7 root 3 plus 7. 7 into root 3 plus 1. Is that the answer?
yeah, so that's what I got.
Is the answer same in NCRT also?
I don't have NCRT right now.
You don't have NCRT? Okay, let me check it online. Just a second. Yeah, 7 root 3 plus 1. That's the answer. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's right. That is how we will make the figure. Yeah. Okay. So we did quite a few questions, not a quite a few, but at least see in the beginning you have basic questions in NCRT. Let me share my screen to the NCRT and then we will end the class here. Just look at these questions here. Yeah, look at these questions over here. You will notice this. That initial questions until question number 7 or 8, they are question number 6, I think, are very similar. Okay. And after that, there are not many questions that are unique. Okay. We did question number 15 in the last class, 14 in the current class, 13 also now, 12 also now, and 9.12, that's from 11th question. That also seems similar that we have done. And then find the height of the poles and the distance of the point from the poles. Even this one seems similar to the one from the river question. From a point between them on the road, the angles of elevation. Okay, something similar to that question that we did. Okay, so try these questions. If you cannot solve them, first solve these questions well. We did harder questions are usually at the end of the exercise. So solve these questions first, and if you are not able to do them, then bring them into the class and we will discuss them. Okay, because we cannot really do everything in the class also. I do try to I will help you with whatever the problem is in the other classes. And Umair, if you want to stay, we can stay and discuss this question that we have. And Zeb, you can leave the class if you want to right now, because you haven't done coordinate geometry also. So this question really, you have a lot of time to cover that in school also. Okay. But in the next class, we will have to think what we will have to take up next. Okay. Tomorrow I won't be here, so you won't have a class tomorrow. I have to be somewhere. Okay. So let's meet on the next class and decide what we will do then. Okay. I'm still looking at whatever we have done and what you guys have done in your schools. Okay. Let's see it in the next class right then and there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, Zeb. All right. See you then. Okay. You can leave the class. All right, Omer, let's discuss this
So,
question.
well, I
Okay,
have an exam.
you have an exam. Okay. All
Yeah.
right, we will take it